Hello and welcome to my world of crochet. My name is Tina and today I'm here with you for another yarn talk video. And as always, we can't talk yarn without me having my faithful mug of tea. And today this tea is the Chinese spring, it's named. Bit odd name for the fact that it is autumn. It is quite windy today, 14 degrees Celsius. So autumn has definitely arrived, even though I was yesterday in the city having to do a few things and also visited some yarn stores, and I found another store which I've not seen here before. And it's a store that's also in Denmark, and they do also sell loose tea. So I went in there and I grabbed some loose tea, and that loose tea was called Chinese Spring. The tea is a black Chinese tea with rose leaves and a flavor of bergamot. So it's slightly like an Earl Grey, slightly not. I guess it's a bit inspired by an Earl Grey, but it's quite nice. And I wouldn't necessarily put it with spring only. I guess the rose leaves or rose petals, dried rose petals, is kind of what maybe makes it spring-alike. But I'd say it's closer to, yeah, maybe it's closer to an Earl Grey without really being an Earl Grey. It's nice. Regardless, I've done a lot of things, and I've had a lot of things to do since last time. So I do apologize in advance if this is going to be a longer yarn talk video, because there's a few things to catch up on. Wednesday, I had my last day at my corporate job, which means that I now have a bit more time to do things. So yesterday I went to the city. I had to sort a few things because I'm desperately in need of a new phone, and I organized a new subscription, etc. at the same time when I was there, and I could get so much more for basically less money. So of course that was definitely worth it. So yeah, I needed to definitely save some money onwards, simply because no corporate job is no permanent income except for what I generate myself. And I'm fine with that. I do have a few months' rights of unemployment pay, which I'm gonna go deeper into, I guess, in November, December, January. But generally, not really sure where we're headed to, but we're gonna make more content on this channel. What's more interesting is, of course, in the last few days, it's been a little bit more common work, so I did have time to finish up some stuff, including I finished my Aikor scarf or shawl, which means that I wrapped it up, I sewed in the end. This is the very end of it, and it's done. I need to block it. That is the only thing I miss for it to be completely complete. It's still a little bit twisted up here. I only need to block it. Oh, and we've in the beginning in. I see. I totally missed that one. Well, I'll do that today. If I will reach to have it blocked before Monday, not Monday, next week Friday, I don't know yet. I do have a few things whereof the place I would normally use for blocking is a little bit in use. So it could be that I will first do the blocking the following week. I'm unsure of that just yet. It kind of also depends on how everything else goes the coming week. But we are basically done here, and it's longer than my wingspan, and it's gorgeous. We are complete. Aikor scarf with the Rosegarden, YarnArt Rosegarden, which is 100% cotton. 250 grams of cake was this originally, which is 8.8 ounces to 1,093 yards, so 1,000 meters. That is what we ended up with, and this, my friends, is what I have left of that cake. That will go into my yarn scrap pile, and eventually it will become something else. But right now, this is the finished one. I just need to block it and it will look so much nicer. I really enjoy the color transitions for this one. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm quite satisfied with the result. So the Aikor scarf is complete, and I actually almost finished 2 projects, but I didn't completely finish the other. Therefore, we will take them as they come in order. But Aikor scarf complete, check. 1 project done. I will definitely make some photos once it's blocked. It will look so much nicer once it's blocked, and yeah, looking forward to show you that as well, definitely. So since the Aikor scarf, I also, and that is actually something I'm rather proud of, made another 3 rounds, I believe. Yes, 3 rounds of the Fleur blanket. Fleur is a mosaic blanket I'm making in the round, and I am making that with Stylecraft Special DK yarns. And the only thing I need now is basically to change color. I'm ready to change the burgundy red into a brighter red. So this is where we are at after round 48. We have 129 rounds in total for this blanket to be complete, but this is round 100 and so this is 48, round 48. So we still have quite a few rounds to go, obviously. And I need to cut this yarn and weave in the end, but I didn't do it yet. I just wanted to just shortly let it hang. I'm quite sure it's the burgundy that's named. These are the 2 first I used. The white is called cream, and the red is the burgundy red. I have found the next 2 because, as said, and this is what amazed me most, is the amount of yarn I have left on the burgundy skein. Anke Wintermans, who designed Fleur, has definitely used and played yarn checking and made sure that she knows exactly how much yarn is needed for the rounds. I'm very amazed in that. The fun thing is it's supposed to be equally much yarn on the white, and I've done more rounds white than I have on the burgundy. I can't really 100% explain that. We are ready to change color. And as I said, I'm using the Stylecraft Special DK yarn, which is this. This is the color I'm gonna change into. So we're going to change from this burgundy red to this brighter red, which is called Claret. Claret. Stylecraft Special DK is a double knit or DK weight. Nothing crazy about that. It's calling for 4mm crochet hook, which is also what I'm using for the whole blanket. It's premium acrylic, 100% premium acrylic. And for these 100 grams, which is the 3.5 ounces, you get 295 meters of yarn. And as I said, I have a whole skein here, but I also have a whole new cream because I will soon need to change to the cream. I think I might have another round left in it, but that's at best. But what I have decided that I'm gonna try to do, because so far I've worked from the skein, do the center pulls doesn't really work for me. I always end up with a massive yarn bath, which I'm no fan of. And taking them from the outside, they just jump around, and it's eventually when you get closer to the center, they get loose. So what I want to do is, I want to cake these up. So I have found my yarn winder, and what I'm gonna do sometime this afternoon is I'm going to cake up these 2 so they turn into cakes, and then I can use my yarn holder, which is these holders with they spin basically. So placing the cake on a yarn holder, I can like slowly spin them around, and I can easier keep track of my yarns without them jumping around, without getting yarn bath, and it's easy to keep untangled. So that's my plan, and then I will find out after doing that for a color if that's working up better for me to easier keep control of those yarns. So that's basically the plan for now. I need to cake up those 2 today, later today. I actually have a few other things I need to cake up. and we'll talk about that later this video. But yeah, that's basically the plan right now, and this is such gorgeous so far. I'm really happy with how this is working out. Definitely, yeah, it's nice. It's very nice. So eventually I will also need a bigger crate to keep track of these. But that is how it is so far. Round 48 out of 149. Which is like more than a third. But it is not in reality more than a third. It's more than a third of the rounds, but in reality, it's not, because every round adds more stitches. Each side has 2 more stitches. There are 4 sides. There are 8 stitches for each round more to crochet. So it's far from being 1/3, but if you count just rows, yes it is. And now I hopefully have more time to actually work on the Fleur. At least that is the expectation, as I do have a bit more free time. Of course I have some vacation now, while I figure out what I'm going to do next. And it could be that I end up with a new corporate job, and it could be that I'm just gonna do a lot of crochet content. Who knows? If it's viable, I will. And I've been debating if I should make a sort of my journey, follow me if you want, ish, like a vlog on that only. Again, it's on mind right now. It's in my mind. The next project that I started working on, and that I am still working on, is the Thoughts of Ireland shawl. And I am using a 3.25mm crochet hook for that. And the fact is, I've not progressed at all since last time, because I've had other projects that somehow took my attention more. Last week was really busy at work. This week has been a bit more calm, and then I just felt like getting my Aikor scarf done because I was so close. So there was like really a few things that kinda, and then of course I spent time on Fleur. So I just didn't have enough time to actually dedicate to the Thoughts of Ireland, which is a shame because I really want to complete it within not too much time. It is a drops design, and I can imagine I might be able to do something more with this. Again, also here the upcoming week. I am busy this weekend, so I won't have much time to crochet this weekend, but next week I definitely do have time. So here we are. This is the Thoughts of Ireland. And the stitch markers is basically for me to know where I need to increase depending on where I'm in the pattern. And we still have some to go, and I will need some woolen detergent for this. As it is 100% alpaca what I'm using. This is how much I've left on my current cake skein. And it is a very fine one. It is, let's see, it's a 50-gram ball, and I do have multiple of them because I have the pattern. I think the pattern said you need 5 balls to do this, and I'm only on ball 2. Surprise. Alpaca mix drops. This gorgeous, and it's 100% alpaca. Green, it's the all-time favorite according to Drops. It's in the yarn group A, which is basically the thinnest of the yarns they have. So it's like lace weight / sport weight, 1/2 weight. For those 50 grams, which is 1.75 ounces, you get 167 meters, so that's 183 yards. I said it's 100% alpaca, so it's wonderful. And with wool, you need wool detergent for the blocking, because this, I'm sure, will need blocking. And then we will see how much I have left and what I will do with the rest and so on. But for now, we are just working it up like this. Oops. Oopsie daisy. Gorgeous it is. Gorgeous it is. But not as much as I would have liked to do on it. And that's just sometimes how it goes, I guess. And of course I still have my Firefly sweater. And my Firefly sweater, I definitely haven't progressed on because I need to block it and then I need to partially sew the sides together to get an idea and so on. So that's something we're gonna re-pick up in November. I also need to decide what I'm gonna do with my morning tea lives. And I do wanna make more lives for you guys coming up where we can hang around together, we can crochet, we can talk yarn, we can talk so many other things. If you haven't done it yet, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. So, my next project is the Summer Shopper bag. And if I do remember right, the Summer Shopper bag has been designed by Tine, which is a Danish designer. I think it's Tine Sommer Hansen. I do have the links to all the patterns description box down below, at least for those where I do have the patterns from. The thing is, not all patterns are available, but this is available. It's a free pattern from Hobbii. It's gorgeous and wonderful. I made the Summer Shopper bag about a month ago. I finished the first one, which is this one, which I'm kind of happy about. There's a few things I would like changed. So of those changes, I've started to adapt them into the new one. I had more than enough yarns left when I had. So what I did is I did one row left on the bottom. Therefore, there's a few less stitches in the round because I increased ones less. And then when I were on the top of this whole side panel, I was able to add an extra round because then you get a little bit more depth in it. And what I also done is in the original one, I chained 3 and then I did the cross double crochets. Here I did a stacked double for the cross double crochets. So let's see if I can actually find it. Here it would be. This would be a stacked join double, but if you compare it to the original with the chain, it's a much more visible join of the rounds. So that's something I really enjoyed. What I also found with this one was a combination of this. I find a little bit too wide for my shoulders, but I would also like a little bit more room underneath, especially if you're like going to wear a winter coat. So what I've done is, because I'm not finished yet, I've gone so far that this is where I need to attach the strap, because I finished the strap. I finished the last round of cross double crochets and I started on slowly making up to the edge in last Wednesday's morning tea. And then meanwhile, I finished the strap and I'm ready to sew the strap on. And the strap, what I've done differently is also, I've done a stacked half double instead of chain 2 and then do the half doubles. And I've done 2 stitches less in the width. So here you start with 18 stitches in the bottom, and then you do 18, and then you do another row of 18, and then you decrease by 1 in each side. So you have 16, 2 rows of 16, then 2 rows of 14, and 2 rows of 12, and then you do 55 rows of 12, then you start increasing again until you get back to the 18, in short. So what I did here is I did 18, and I did 16, and I did etc. until I did one more round of decreases basically, and then I ran it with 10 all the way. So it is slightly smaller, and once this is sewn on, what I need to do is I need to go around each side with single crochets, and once that's done, I need to do a row of of slip stitches, and that's done. And that's basically what you have here, right? On this is a finished version. Extra row of single and then an extra row of slip stitches, making this sort of nice edge. So that is the finished version, and this is the improved version. But I also added, so I have 2 more rows of decreases in total, but I also have 3 more rows of stitches here in between, like just of the 10. So that gives a total of 7 extra rows over here, which gives me just a slightly bit longer, or like longer strap for me to carry this bag in. So once that's sewn together, it's gonna be really nice. And then I just have to wrap that up. So I'm very sure, I am 99.9% sure I'm done with this when we see each other again in next week's yarn talk video, or maybe even in a live for that matter. Yeah, and I can hear outside neighbors are busy. We're getting new neighbors next week, just behind that wall, so it might be a bit noisy. It depends. I don't know what's gonna happen and go on there either, but there are definitely going to be some noise while they move in. Curious? And so let's talk about, I have a few things, because I have a few new projects I want to start on. And you did get a sneak peek of the yarns in the very first beginning photo of this live. The thumbnail showed some of these yarns that I'm going to be working with. So I have a few things I want to do. I do have some scrap yarns I want to use, but I also have I have 2 shawls I want to start on, and I also want to start on a hat. Last autumn, probably around this time actually, I made a hat as well, and I made that in Papatia Joyful, which is a nice variegated yarn. It's, if I do remember right, it's a 100 gram skein, so 3.5 ounces to 200 meters. So that would be like 210, 20-ish yards. I just made a simple plain double crochet hat, which is this one. And you can see the variegations. It kind of turned out kind of funny, nice. And now I realize I still have some of that skein left. So this is basically the leftovers, but there is far from enough to make a hat. So what I want to make from this is basically a headband with a nice little tight knot on front. And then hopefully that should be the end of this yarn. And then once that's done, hallelujah, I have my projects done and I can do something else. Because, you know, eventually you can have the yarn laying around for so long, but right now I just need to get something made from it. I will need my 5mm crochet hook for this, but I'm also using currently my 5mm crochet hook for the summer bag. So once the summer bag is done, I can dedicate myself to this, and this is basically all what's left. I think I wanna cake this up before starting working on it, just to see how the yarn cakes. I am curious on that. And then I can make a headband for winter combined with this. I don't have the label for this one right here, but I do know it is 80% acrylic and 40% wool. That's not matching. 80% acrylic and 20% wool. So there are wool in it, which makes it a little bit easier to keep the warmth in the winter. And what I'm gonna do with them, I am probably maybe gonna throw them up on the local Facebook site here to see if there is anyone that wants to buy a hat or headband from me. And if that's not gonna succeed, maybe I'll end up donating them. But yeah, so that is the hat I made last year. And I'm now gonna make a headband of the same yarn so that I can clear that up in my stash. Because I do really need to sort up I have sorted my stash, but I do have lots of things I kind of need to make room because I want new yarns. And the hilarious part is, of course, that last week not last week, yesterday, I went to the city and I ended up buying new yarn. And I knew that I was going to buy a few skeins of yarn, but I ended up buying more than I anticipated because I came by another store and they normally just... So what I wanted to do originally was I wanted to record in the first store. I've never been there before. When I came there, I realized it was not a place that would be very good for recording. It was just, they had a very small selection, point one. They did have a few yarns that I brought with me, but it was not ideal to make a decent video for YouTube. So I decided that's just not gonna happen. They do have other stores of this brand in the city. This is just the first time I've visited this one. And I know for sure that I don't need to go back there. At least not for this purpose. That's only if they might have some yarns that I don't have found in one of the other stores I know that they also have in the city. And then I went by another store on the way home, which was a bit closer to the bus stop, and they had just refurbished the whole store, and I didn't know that. And because they had the same opening yesterday, they had a sale, and there was some really awesome yarns, and they got some new brands. And that, because they had a opening, it was so busy that I could barely record. I reached to make a very little short recording, but far from everything there. But since I ended up getting a lot more yarn than I had thought I should be getting, I ended up with like a bucket of yarn. It was discounted, 20% off. Normally they never discount the yarns. I should get extra for value, right? Therefore, I will on Monday have a yarn haul store visit video. The yarn store visit itself is very short. The yarn haul itself we will discuss in length here on the camera with you watching me showing the lovely yarns that I end up getting with me home. One of the yarns I am though going to show you now, and that is the Seaman Milan yarn. It is yarn, it's €4, or well, it's $3.99. And it is this lovely salmon colored yarn. And I'm going to make a hat of it. That's the plan. I think I want to attempt making the divine hat with this. I think it would be absolutely gorgeous. This is a 3.5 ounce skein, so 100 grams to 230 meters. So that's about 250, a little bit more than 250 yards. It is therefore worsted weight, a 4/8 yarn. They recommend a 5mm crochet hook for it. Can be washed at 30 degrees. You will need 4 of these skeins if you want to make a medium-sized sweater, but I assume that's by knitting. I just have the one. It is 70% polyamide, then it is 20% acrylic and 10% wool. It is Oeko-Tex branded, and it's a colorway 30. And I think it's gorgeous. Salmon colored, gorgeous yarn. There's not much more to say about that. Yeah, €4 for a skein of this gorgeous yarn. I'm going to make a hat from it. This, if I reach the start on it before next Yarn Talks video, I don't know. It kind of depends because I do have a few other projects I want to work on, but this is kind of the spoiler to what will come. Because on Monday, as I said, normally I actually had planned to post my last left-hand crochet tutorial on Monday, but I'm going to move that whole week because I know some of you guys really enjoy talking about yarn like this and see what we have here in the Netherlands. So I'm going to show you all the yarns that I ended up buying yesterday, which I had planned to buy like maybe 4 or 5 skeins like this, and I ended up with at least double. It happens. Looking forward to show you all those yarns. Yeah. But what's also important is I do want to start 2 shawls. And let's see, what should we talk about first? If we should talk about them in the order I'm likely going to make them, then I need to just change for a bit. I want to make the ultimate Sacrifice Shawl. The Ultimate Sacrifice Shawl, I was so lucky to obtain the pattern. Right now the pattern cannot be bought, though it is a for sale pattern. She is on Ravelry, but yeah, for some reason right now you can't buy it. So I've just been lucky to obtain it. It is by Lorraine Pugh Designs, and the Ultimate Sacrifice Shawl is gorgeous, to say the least. And I want to use a Hobbii Dahlia Halloween to make it, and that is the one I've chosen to make it with. I'm going to make the center black, and then I will start afterwards from the inside of the cake and work out again. Because what you see is they do have the nice shawls, they do have this black outer center, and then they have sometimes they have like, again, a dark, goes dark, like then it changes rapidly and then it goes dark again, and it looks very gorgeous. And I think with exactly this cake, it would look gorgeous. I got this in a yarn haul either last year or the year before for Halloween. It is one of their special limited edition Halloween cakes. You can only get this cake during their Halloween sales. They are ongoing right now at Hobbii. So if you want this exact cake, you better get it while it's there, because once it's out of stock, it will be out of stock. And if you're lucky, it will be back next year. So far, they have been back the last at least 3 years, but suddenly they might stop selling them. So if you really want this, I would recommend you to get it while you're able to. I might even want to get a few more. I think I have another 2 upstairs in my stash, but I'm going to use this for the Ultimate Sacrifice Shawl because I think it will be gorgeous. It's 200 gram, it's a 200 gram cake, which is 7 ounces to 800 meters, about 875 yards. It's 100% cotton, and they recommend 3.5 to 4 millimeter crochet hooks. Can be washed at 30 degrees, can be ironed at low, can be dry cleaned, do not bleach, do not tumble dry. It is the colorway 1 of the Dahlia Halloween. Dahlia Halloween. I like this pattern. Like, I like this label, this Halloween themed label. So yeah, if you want it, that is on Hobbii. So that is what I'm gonna make, the Ultimate Sacrifice Shawl, because I think this will be gorgeous. And I can't actually wait getting started. And next week we have an event at the local club. And at that event, I'm also having a stand, not necessarily for crochet, though maybe if I have a few things, I might consider actually putting them on, see if people would want to buy them. But the more important part is that I have a stand where I will be waiting on customers to come by if they want to buy stuff. I make made-to-measure earplugs basically, and when there is no customers, I can crochet because I need to be present. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring stuff with me, and I'm gonna sit there and crochet when I'm waiting. Why not use the time? And this is going to be such a gorgeous one. And I want to try to have this one done before Halloween. That's my goal. And next to that, I also want to start another shawl. I might wait starting this shawl until I have my drops done, but I'm not sure. But if I tell you now that I want to start on this shawl and I want to make this shawl, then I'm committed. That was the thought of it, at least. So then I'm committed, and then, yeah. And the shawl I want to make is the Aranel Shawl. Aranel is a Hobbii pattern designed by K.A.M.E Crochet. It is actually the same designer who designed the Aikor Shawl. And the Aranel Shawl is, I think it's a gorgeous shawl. It's made in the Hobbii Alpaca wheel. I do not have any Hobbii Alpaca wheel, but I do have YarnArt's Alpaca Flowers Alpaca. Big cake, actually, fluffy cake. It's the same, like I am 99.9% sure this is the same yarn as the Hobbii Wheel of Alpaca. We just have some different colorways in the flowers. Some of them are the same as Hobbie's and some of them are not. These come at a better price, a better, cheaper price tag. But the quality of the yarn is the same, and I'm 99.9% sure they're the same. So that is what I'm gonna make. I want to make the Aranel shawl from this. That's my plan. Basically start and end and have a shawl made of one cake here. Let's talk about the YarnArt Flowers Alpaca here. It is, let's see, where does it find? Should have it somewhere. Oh, it's here. This cake is 250 grams, so 8.8 ounces. I know, like, just compare it to the much denser cotton here. This is 200 grams. It's a 50 gram difference. So it's 7 ounces, 8.5 ounces. Wow. Oh, 8.8, sorry. There's 1.8 ounce differences, but it's more than double the size. It tells how airy this one is, right? Anyhow, 250 grams to 8.8 ounces. It's 940 meters, so that is 1,027 yards. It is 20% alpaca and 80% acrylic, and yeah, I'm gonna make a shawl of it. They say one is enough for a shawl. They recommend 3.5mm crochet hook. I would assume actually thicker based on just how it looked, but they classified as 2-weight fine. I would say it's probably more like a 3-weight personally. And it is hand wash, dry flat, do not bleach. It does say can't be ironed at low, but I'm not sure if that's clever at all. Hand wash at 30 degrees Celsius or 86 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to make the Aranel shawl of this, and in the beginning I thought I was going to start on the outer edge, but now I think I might actually start on the center. I can. So this is going to move into my project crate as well. And it could be that I start it before next week's Just Hope video, I'm unsure. But that is the 2 shawls I've planned on starting making. We have the drops project going on. I'm definitely going to finish the summer shopper bag for next time. I think I might even finish that one today. Headband probably also going to be finished. So I have a few projects I'm going to start up, and I have some projects I'm still working on, and I guess I'm trying to end up with some projects so I can let's do some lives and hang out together. And yeah, I will have time to do that in the afternoons now because I don't have to do my corporate job. So hopefully I see you next week, and I hope you enjoyed this yarn talk video. And on Monday, stay tuned. We are going to talk some Dutch yarns. And yeah, take care and happy crafting. Bye.